Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I thought we'd do a short comparison video between the mean green Fiesta ST on the left and the frozen white Puma ST on the right. They do share quite a lot in common. They've both got the 1.5 turbocharged EcoBoost 3-cylinder engines, although being the Dragon variant, there's no wet belt in sight. These are driven purely by a timing chain. So both of these have got around about 200 brake horsepower compared to about 170 in the new 1 litres. They both come with a 6-speed manual gearbox and are both front-wheel drive. So the Puma ST was launched back in 2020, which was a year after the standard Puma had been launched. This generation of Fiesta, which you could argue is the 7th or the 8th generation, depending on where you look. That was launched back in, I think it was 2017, finally being discontinued in around about 2023. So these ST versions, or the sports technologies, as they're otherwise known, are the performance versions of the standard models they're based upon. Above that, you'd be looking at the RS version, so the RS Focus, but they're in a completely different league. To be fair, these are just sort of your daily drivers with a bit more va-va-voom. With the STs, you get the ST styling kit. On this particular one, you get the 18-inch alloy wheels. On the Puma, you get a similar styling kit, but these come with the 19-inch alloy wheel, so slightly bigger. In terms of ride, well, the Puma is obviously more of an SUV, so the ride is a little bit different compared to the low-down honker of the Fiesta. Both come in 5-door versions only. Let's go and have a quick look inside. We'll start off with the Fiesta first of all. So you can see inside, being a small car, there's not a lot of room, but that's all part of the sports feel. When you get inside it, you've got the forward performance seats here that are identical to the ones in the Puma. The door cards are slightly different on here to the Puma. The Puma, you'll see, has got red stitching along here. Bit of sort of fake carbon on here, which is the same on the Puma. And then you've got the Sync 3, which is the previous version of the Sync 4, which has just been launched. So a lot more twiddly buttons and knobs on the Sync 3. I start it up. So with the ST3, you get sat-nav. On some of the other versions you don't. You've got sat-nav, you've got Android Auto, CarPlay, you also get cruise control, LED headlights, the list goes on. You come down here, you've got the heated control panel, very similar again to the Puma ST. This one you'll notice hasn't got heated seats, whereas I believe the Puma has, but it has got a heated front windscreen. 6-speed manual gearbox, which is the same you'll find in the Puma. And then you've got your normal manual handbrake. You've got 2 buttons simply there, one to turn off the stop-start and one to turn off the traction control, if you dare. Coming up to the dash, you've got the red stop-start button there, which is unique to the ST. And then you've got the instrument cluster itself. Switch that off on there. So if you press the S mode for sport, changes the dials. Shut this door. Change the dials into sort of a black and red, a lot more sportier feel. Give the engine a bit more of a throaty sound as well. Oh, we haven't got much fuel, so I won't leave it running too long. But generally very similar to the Puma inside, just a smaller place to be. Like I said, if it's just yourself and someone else, this would be perfect. You've got a small family, but you still want something sporty to drive, then the Puma's probably going to be a better shout. Let's just switch this off. We take a look round it on the outside. I mean, I love the colour. Mean green. My second favourite colour behind frozen white. I mean, why else would you get a different colour than mean green? Boot size, not massive in the Fiesta, if I show you. I want to say it's around about 250 litres, something like that. But if you're going for the Fiesta, you're not really buying it for practicality, although there's a bit of room in there to put your shopping in. Moving over to the Puma ST. So like I said, this is more of an SUV shape, so a lot more practical. If we take a look inside, so like I said, slightly different style of door card on here. You've got the sort of faux carbon fibre on the dash, same seats, and you've still got the Sync 3. So this will be identical to the Fiesta, be running the same software version. Get your nav, and then down here you've got your heater control panels. Like I said, this has got the added benefit. It must have the winter pack on it because it's got the heated seats and the heated steering wheel, which is currently on, which we don't need that on. 6-speed manual gearbox, same in the Fiesta, and the manual handbrake there. A few more little buttons just down there. And then if we move over to the instrument cluster, again, very similar to the Fiesta. If we just press the sport badge on there. So yeah, very, very much the same. I don't think there's going to be any differences at all, although this one's got a bit more fuel in it. But yeah, like I said, as an option for a small family, or if you've got a dog, something like that, the Puma is going to be a better bet in terms of practicality and getting you around. Let's take a look on the outside. And the boot in this one is got, I think a standard, it's, I want to say 450. That you may remember on these Pumas, they've got the spare box, can't think what they call it now. But yeah, they've got, which gives you an extra 80 litres of space, which is always going to be handy. But yeah, my opinion on which one I'd have, well, it really depends on circumstances. The Fiesta, I think, drives better than the Puma. That's not taking anything away from the Puma, of course. It's just that the Fiesta is just a fantastic driving vehicle. But I also quite like the benefit of that bit of extra room in the Puma as well. Their 0 to 60 times are very similar. The Fiesta does it in about 6.5 seconds, and the Puma does it in about 6.7 seconds. So it's only 0.2 of a second slower. And that's just down to a little bit of extra weight on it. But anyway, that's enough rabbiting on. Let me know what your favourite is down in the comments below. If you've got any questions about these, and let me know. Apologies about the noise. I have got my new noise cancelling mic on, so hopefully it's doing its job. And I'll catch you soon on Content Cars.